All right, so in this session, we are going to look at various aspects of local excise duty in Uganda. We shall begin with understanding what local excise duty is, or excise duty for that matter. We shall look at the different types of excisable goods and services in Uganda. We shall look at who pays excise duty in Uganda. We shall look at the excise duty rates. We shall look at the computation of excise duty. Shall go through the actual calculation. If a client comes to you and they want to know how much excise duty they are likely to pay, we shall go through that. We shall look at the local excise duty taxpayer registration procedure. As we shall see, the tax law requires those dealing in local excise duty or excisable goods to be registered. So how is that one done? Shall go through that. We shall look at the excise duty return submission procedure, the tax return that you're supposed to complete and furnish the return to URA, the procedure. And then we shall look at the excise duty relief schemes. So this is our very first session on cohort 2. And under this, you're going to be looking at more advanced tax aspects. Okay, we are moving into a more advanced discussion on taxes, of course, on the premise that you have already picked up that knowledge from cohort number 1. And of course, as you'll see in these areas selected, you'll earn more if you do things the right way. So the question is, what is local excise duty? We have looked at value added tax, VAT. We have looked at income tax. So what is this one here? Excise duty. So we are saying that excise duty is a tax on consumption of specified goods and services. Specified goods and services. It means that the government has gazetted certain goods and services to be excisable. That if these goods are consumed, you will pay the charge, the excise duty charge. Of course, like all other taxes, excise duty was introduced to collect revenue for the government to facilitate its activities. However, it is also a control tool employed by the government to regulate consumption of certain goods and services. How? By making these goods slightly expensive. So since the charge is on consumption, the consumer will feel that charge and maybe they are discouraged to consume or to consume less than what would be consumed under normal circumstances. We should also note that excise duty is also collected on imported items. Items which are actually manufactured in Uganda are going to be charged this duty. Why? The government is looking at protecting its domestic industry from the stiff competition arising out of these cheap commodities that are imported into the country by different business people. So the government charges excise duty on such products to protect the domestic products, For instance, we know that in Uganda, we have goods like soft drinks that are manufactured in Uganda, which are locally manufactured in Uganda. However, a visit to the various supermarkets in Uganda, you see that on the shelves of these supermarkets, there are soft drinks, especially coming from Kenya, milk coming from Kenya and other countries. So, how does the government regulate or protect its industries, local industries dealing in the same? It charges the excise duty, making them more expensive than the locally manufactured products in Uganda. So do we also follow a certain legal framework?